Today on Provost Park Pass, we're not looking down, no, we're looking up. That's right, we're looking at all the different secrets that are hidden around the Walt Disney World resorts that are up high. So, we did a video on Provost Park Pass about 15 plus hidden messages that are all on the ground, and people liked it so much, decided we're gonna do another one. But instead of looking down, we're gonna be looking up at hidden messages up in the sky of the different Walt Disney World resorts. If you want to watch that other video, go ahead and click, what's it, over here? I think right over here. Click over there, and you watch that video on the ground. But today, we are looking up. So the very first park we're gonna be looking up at is in Hollywood Studios. We were at Grand Park, which is, that's basically the Muppet area. And man, there is a ton of things up high. Right here is the Muppet Vision. Now, most times you just walk right in, but if you have to go through the long line, which is where we're gonna go, there is a lot of things up high. Let me show you. If you look up, you'll notice that even there's like little eyes, they have eyebrows and noses. They're all over in this line. And all of the eyebrows are different. Now, as you continue down the line, if you have a long line for the Muppet Theater, look up, you'll see the vent. What do you see? Eyeballs on the vent. I love it. Look at this one. This one's got the flowers. Now, the thing is, look at the lamps. Right here, you can see it. Look, they have like the 3D glasses. They've turned all the lamps into like little Muppet creatures. How cool is that? And all the vents. That has got to be Oscar the Grouch. That has to be Oscar the Grouch. They have put so much detail into the ceiling here at Muppets Theater that it's almost overwhelming. But wait, there's even more to look up here at the Muppet Theater. If you look over to the right and up, you're gonna see a clock with Gonzo on it. In 1923, a movie came out called Safety Last, and his character goes out on a clock, and he's hanging by the clock. It's a black and white film with like no sound, but it's really, really well done. And this is an homage to that film, Safety Last, Harold Lloyd's Safety Last. Right outside Muppet Theater, you're going to see Sweetums. And what is he holding? One of those little paddle balls. Ding, 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 ding. And the paddle ball's coming off, it's in 3D. Now most little ones, they walk right by that, because I mean, this guy is tall. And that's also a little bit of a foreshadowing of what you're gonna see in the movie. As you continue on in this like Muppet area, you're gonna notice this wall building over here. You can see that they started to paint it. It says more Muppet stuff. But if you look up, you'll notice they only got about halfway and they got tired of doing the job. And the paint job just kind of stops. At the exit of the Muppet Theater, you're gonna go across. Be sure to look up, because what are you going to see? Oh my gosh, the Mona Lisa with sunglasses on. With a little Hollywood and I love LA. The Mama Melrose Ristorante Italiano. Looking at the backside here of the Muppet building, you see Kermit up there. That's great. You can also see some eyeballs right there. But if you really look up, you can see this. They made this little, Dr. Bunsen honeydew. With glasses and everything. Now continue on around the Muppet building. If you look over here, you see Muppets. Gonzo's obviously been painted. But if you look up, what do you see? A bucket of paint spilling over. I personally am a huge, huge fan of the Muppets. Woo! Kermit. I love the Muppets and I'm so thrilled. I mean, if you want to look up for crazy things, come down here at Hollywood Studios. This is where it gets cray. Here we are at the Pizzerizzo. Right across the street, if you look up, you can see a building. And there's lots of things written on windows, but one of my favorite is this one here. Potter, 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 and Potter, attorney at laws. And if you notice, the youngest Potter, his is newly painted on, where the other ones are older. Now, right outside the Pizzerizzo restaurant, if you look up, there's lots of interesting things, but you'll notice right here, there's a sign that says Pizzerizzo Pizza Beer. This is one of the few places in all the Disney parks where it has a sign talking about beer. When you're about ready to walk into Batuu, you can walk through this little bridge area, but if you look up, you're gonna see a seal. You'll notice there are 13 stars representing the first 13 colonies, with that little flag there. Now, here's the part. I have done so much research on this and I cannot find out what the rest of this is. I think that bear is for California, United States, and I don't know what the griffin and the tower is. If anybody knows, I would love to find out. Even the cast members don't seem to know. We are now in Batuu, sometimes also known as Star Wars Land. Now, if you look behind me, there's a ship. This ship has landed, it's way up high, but if you look very carefully, you'll see 3 crates. One has a 77, the middle one has 80, and the one on this over here says 83. Those were the years that the original trilogy Star Wars movies came out. Star Wars came out in 1977, Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980, and Return of the Jedi came out in 1983. Let's go into Toy Story Land and look up and see what we see there. Right above the restrooms, it says restrooms of course, but you'll see it's spelled out with Scrabble tiles. Be sure to look up in Toy Story Land, how do they light it? With Christmas lights. Now remember, you are the size of a toy, about the size of a plastic green army man. And what do they light it up with? Christmas lights. That's exactly what a child would do to light everything up. Right outside Toy Story Lunchbox, you're gonna see a tower built with Kinects and some Green Army Men. If you look up, the guy on the top is a Green Army Man with binoculars. Now, when I was a kid, I had these, and he was always the least desirable, and I would always like place him out front, and then I'd run him over with like a car. He'd be like, "Sir, somebody's coming," and I'd run him over the car. As you get in the line for Midway Mania, you look up, you're gonna see a cardboard box. You're gonna be entering that. Now, what's holding up the Christmas lights? A push tack. Right outside the Midway Mania, if you look up, you see this toy box. It's opening up. You see tape. There's tape holding the Christmas lights. And then right below the tape, what do you see? Some paper things that you build and assemble. Let's say like tab A, tab B, you know, insert tab A into slot B, whatever that was. That's what makes Disney so special. They put all the attention to these details. I mean, looking up, you see so much more. Well, let's keep going. We'll find even more. Outside the Slinky Dog Dash, you're gonna see a sign, of course, that says Slinky Dog, made on lined paper, and the dash from the Dash coaster. But you'll also notice their entrance time is just a normal watch, and the standby is Buster's tag. And on the back side of it, what do you see? Their address of where they live. If you'd like to learn more about the Slinky Dog Dash, click the video right over here where we have all the secrets revealed of that particular ride. Right across the street from Walt Disney Presents is this little area over here. Now this is a hard one to see. This is only open if there need overflow for Toy Story Mania. But so these doors will open up to allow additional queuing. If you look though, you're gonna see Jack Jack right up there on an I-beam. Now this area is generally only open in the morning because they can't use the inside queuing for Toy Story Mania, so they hold everybody out here. And but in the afternoon, usually it's closed down. So you only see this usually in the morning. It's so cool though. Right next to the Voyage of the Little Mermaid, you can see this wall. And I know that this part looks kind of plain right here, but you'll notice the different shades. The reason is that scrim, that's where all the speakers are. You see it now, you see kind of behind it. That's where a lot of the speakers are so they can pump out the music. Let's take a little tiny break. There we go, there we go. All right, back at it. This is the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway attraction. It is housed in the Grom's Chinese Theater. You want to look up though, because look up here and what do you see? You see dragons. And even over here, you see even bigger dragons. So here I am getting in the center where a lot of the restaurants are. And if you look behind me, right up here, you're gonna see a billboard. And that is basically the only reference to Roger Rabbit on the East Coast. Maroon Studios, Baby Hermit, Roger Rabbit, and Jessica Rabbit. Right here by Hollywood and Vine, if you look up, you can see an office called Eddie Valiant, Private Investigator. Now he is the main character from Roger Rabbit. And if you look at the window, what do you see? Roger Rabbit popping right through. Right here you have Dinosaur Gertie's Ice Cream of Extinction, and you see this giant dinosaur. But if you look up at his nose, what do you see? Steam coming out, or breath, or anger. The next thing to look up is at the Hollywood Tower Terror Hotel. Now the thing is, this can only be seen at nighttime. If you look in the windows, you can see a silhouette of a person in the evening. Ooh, look how scary. The Rock and Roller Coaster. Walk this way. That was not a planned joke, by the way, that just happened. Outside the Rock and Roller Coaster by Aerosmith, you can see this giant poster up on the wall. It's pretty high up there. Now there's a lot of hidden things on this. First off, the license plate. Ooh, it says Disney World. And then as you look up, you can see right here in Joe Perry, his neck piece, his necklace is a hidden Mickey, and then also on Steven Tyler's shirt, you can see that he has hidden Mickeys on his shirt. If you want to know more secrets about the Rock and Roller Coaster, go ahead and click right over here. The whole video about the secret build of this attraction. Beep, boop, beep. The entrance to the Rock and Roller Coaster, you can see this Cadillac upside down. Now, if you want to get a crazy selfie, one of the coolest ones, go right here, zoom in, and boom, in that rear view mirror, you can get the ultimate rear view mirror selfie. Here we are on Sunset Boulevard at Walt Disney World, Hollywood Studios. But if you look up here, right here, what do you see? A billboard with what on it? Paradise Pier. And if you look very carefully, doesn't that look exactly like? That's right, Disney California Adventure. It's a little shout out. Right as you enter into Hollywood Studios and see Hollywood Street, if you look up, you're gonna see a billboard that says Hollywoodland, the finest property in Southern California, dream homes in a dreamland. You know the Hollywood sign, it really did originally say Hollywoodland, and it was used there, it's put there for real estate to sell homes, Hollywoodland. Eventually they got rid of the land, just turned it into Hollywood, and you know, now you got the Hollywood sign. Right as you enter into Hollywood Studios, if you look up, what do you see? Mickey Mouse spanning the globe. Let's continue this video now in Epcot. I'm now in Epcot. Right behind me is the French Pavilion. Let's go check it out. This is one of my very favorite world pavilions. I love it so much. You see the Eiffel Tower back there, but it also has something really cool if you look up. At the end of the French Pavilion, you're gonna see this little cinema where they do the Beauty and the Beast sing along, and they also do a French movie there. If you look up here, you're gonna see an homage to one of the very first Mickey Mouse movies. If you look right here, you can see a broom. That broom represents the broom from Mickey's Fantasia. Sneakily hidden right in there. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I am in the Japan Pavilion. What? And there's a tower there, the 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 levels represent, they're like earth, wind, air, fire, and spirit. Now, if you look at the temple there, you're gonna see that on each corner there's a bell. There's bells there. The thing that you want to notice is those bells, they have no little, I don't know what it's called, a gonger, dingy, you know, it makes a bell, make a sound. The dingy donger, they're removed from these bells. Not for any particular reason for whatever, but the reason they remove them is because they don't want them ringing the whole time and irritating people. So, the more you know. Just looked it up. Those are called the clappers inside a bell. Clapper! I can't clap. Clapper! Okay, so now I'm in America. Funnel cakes, you know, the land of the free. Now here's the thing, you see this American Hall? There is a flag flying up there. It's fluttering in the wind. This is a really hard one to spot. But that flag there, where there's stars, those aren't actually stars. Do you know what they are? They're little Mickey heads. Mickey heads on the flag. That way they don't have to take the flag down, up and down every time, you know, whatever. So I guess they probably won't have to do that anyways because it's not the real American flag. But they're Mickey heads. I'm taking photos, I'm trying to zoom in, but it's still a little blurry, but you can kind of make out the little Mickey heads. How cool is that? Here we are at the American Adventure building. Look at this building here. We've already talked about the flag. Now this building, it looks like it's 3 stories. 1, 2, 3. This is an optical illusion done through forced perspective. Normally when they use forced perspective, they make the windows smaller to make it look taller. This building is really 5 stories tall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the building, the windows are taller, making it look like it's only 3 stories tall. That's right, they're making the building look smaller than it really is. What? We're in Germany. Now, if you look up, you see a giant clock. Is that like a Glockenspiel? I'm not exactly sure, but when it strikes on the hour at the top, you get like a rooster comes out and flaps its wings, and then you pan down a little bit, and you're gonna see these blue doors here, and a girl and boy come out, and they kind of dance and hit the bell. It only happens on the hour though. I just found out a Glockenspiel is a metal xylophone. That's nothing to do with the clock at all. Now I'm in Norway. Now if you look up on Norway, in Norway, they put grass on the ceilings. That's weird. I mean grass on the roofs, not the ceilings. They don't do that. Nobody does that. That'd be a horrible idea. But they put grass on the roofs. And if you look really closely, you can see sprinklers up there, all right? And then ceiling. Normally in Norway, they use a goat to do they put a goat right on the roof and they'll eat the grass, but they don't do that here in Magic Kingdom. Epcot, what do? They have a person get up there and mow it with special little shears. Now I'm in Mexico. These stairs used to come all the way down, but guess what happened? That's right, children and people who got a little crazy would walk and try to climb these stairs and get really hurt because it's steep, steep, steep. So they got rid of the stairs at the bottom and they put in this carving to make it so people could not go up. Coming over here to the side so you can see how steep that is. I mean, if you fall down that, you're gonna get hurt. So smart to put that little barrier right there. I'm now in Canada. Did you know that our podcast, Provost Park Pass, was rated #1 in Canada? What? Canada loves us, and guess what? We love Canada. Let's look up in Canada now. When you first enter into Canada, what do you see? These totem poles right over here. Look at this totem pole. If you look all the way up, you're gonna see a hidden Mickey right here, right below the elbow. Oh, Canada, you're the best. I'm in England! England! Chim chimmery, chim chimmery, chim chim charoo. And you need to look up here too. When you're in England, if you look up at the chimneys, you'll see that there's a black soot at the top of the chimneys. That's not real soot. That is painted on to make it look like soot because England used to use a lot of coal to keep everybody warm. Now, let's go to the Animal Kingdom. And now we're at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Right as you enter into Animal Kingdom, you see a mural of all these different animals because, you know, Animal Kingdom. But if you look very closely, you can see something a little unusual. A flying Pegasus. What does a flying Pegasus have to do with all these other animals? The original idea was to be Beastly Kingdom. They would have a Beastly Kingdom rather than Animal Kingdoms to be all filled with magical and mythical creatures. But that idea was scrapped, but they kept the Pegasus on to remember that. Let's go into Dinoland USA and look up. Right behind me, you see the Dino Bites snack shop. Now you gotta look on the roof. When you look on the roof, you can see 2 dinosaurs. And what are they saying? King of the dig, and it's been crossed out. Now it's the Queen of the dig. Just letting them know I'm in charge. While you're in Dinoland, you can see these road signs here. It says Diggs County, US 498. That stands for the year and the month that Animal Kingdom opened. April 1998. At the very end of Dinoland USA, you can see this billboard. It says, welcome to Diggs County. And you can see the dinosaur ride right over there and this silhouette right here of a man. Now, the dinosaur ride and Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland and the dinosaur ride here in Walt Disney World are the exact same track. Identical, exact same track. Just one's themed for Indiana Jones, and the other one's themed for dinosaurs. And if you look here, you can kind of see the silhouette of the man. Sort of looks like Indiana Jones about to take over the dinosaur attraction, because he did in Disneyland. I'm now at Expedition Everest. Here at Expedition Everest, if you look up into the trees, you're gonna see all these like scarves or napkins. Not napkins, but like, I don't know what they are. And they're fading. What those do is they represent prayers, actual prayers that people put out there. Now, when it gets all weathered and falls off, that means that prayer is going to be answered. If you want to learn more about the secrets of build Expedition Everest, you can click over here. And there's a whole video about this. See the wood on top of the roof? That is a sign of wealth in Nepal. The more wood you have on your roof, the richer and more wealthy you are. So look at this. This would be a very wealthy, wealthy person. And now we're in Pandora. Of course, everybody knows about the floating rocks of Pandora because they're beautiful. And the waterfalls. But if you look over here, way, way, way in the back, the highest waterfall, the very tallest one, if you look carefully, you'll see that that waterfall is actually a water wheel just going around in a circle, 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 sped up to make it look like it's a waterfall, but it's really just a water wheel. What? So now, let's go to the Magic Kingdom and look up there. They got lots of good stuff to look up. And now we are in Magic Kingdom. Let's look up and see what we see here at Magic Kingdom. Woo-hoo. One of the first things you notice as you walk down Main Street is the flags, these beautiful flags up there and all along here at Main Street. Now these are not real American flags. They are missing a star. That way they don't have to take them down if it rains or if there's some type of tragedy. They don't have to lower them. They are just fake flags, except for this one. That is the only real flag right here on Main Street. Also, if you look up, you'll see windows there with people's names on them. Like this one here, the one of the very tallest, Seven Summits Expeditions, Frank G. Wells, president. For those who want to do it all. Frank G. Wells was the president of Disney from 1984 to his death in 1994. Now, on Main Street, they have lots of windows with lots of people names. I think I need to do a whole nother video just about all the different names and windows. But you can always look up, and that's paying homage to some Disney legend. Let's walk into Fantasyland and look up at Fantasyland. If you want a really magical experience here in Fantasyland, you can get reservations and eat at the Be Our Guest restaurant right over here. This restaurant is so fun. If you want to hear all the secrets revealed about this restaurant, you go ahead and click right up here, or maybe here, I'm not exactly sure. And we'll show you all the secrets you need to know about this restaurant. When you're eating here at the Be Our Guest restaurant, if you're in the main ballroom, if you look up, you're gonna see some cherubs, these like little fat baby angels. The faces on those angels are the children of the Imagineers who worked on this project. It's awesome. And you need to get a reservation to eat here. Oh, it's so good though. Also in Fantasyland is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. This ride is amazing. It's amazing. We also have a secret revealed video of that. You can look at it right over here as well. On the Snow White Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, there are some really cool things if you look up. The first is you're gonna see, while you're riding the ride, on the left-hand side, at the top of the second hill, on a log is Oswald. There's a hidden Oswald on this ride. Not a hidden Mickey, but an Oswald. I'll try to slow down this video, do a little outline so you can see Oswald. His arms are wide, and he's kind of got the bow legs. You know, Oswald, the lucky rabbit. It's amazing. It's one of the few rare ones they have here. Also, on this particular attraction, the main Imagineer who is building it has a phobia. That's a phobia of crickets. So what does a good friend do when they got the right things? At the very end of the ride, up in the beam, they put a cricket there, just to tease them. It's really hard to see, but you can see, if you ask a cast member, they'll shine a flashlight so you can see it. This next look up moment is for little kids. Now, right as you come outside of the castle, you're going to see the Cinderella fountain right here. Now, for most people, this just looks normal, but if you're a little kid, you see that crown right up there? If you're a little kid and you're looking up at it, look what happens. The crown goes right on her head. That's a look up moment for kids. We're now walking into Liberty Square. In Liberty Square, you will notice there's numbers on the buildings right there. 2-digit numbers, so you have to look up to see the numbers. If you put the number 18 in front of that, that'll tell you the style that when this house was popular. In 1814, this style of house was popular. In 1816, this style of a house was becoming popular. That way you could tell what style and what year each house was popular. Now right here in the center of Liberty Square, you see the Liberty Tree. This is a real oak tree. You have to look up though. You see these lanterns? There are 13 lanterns representing the first 13 colonies in the United States. We are now at the exit of the Haunted Mansion. And right over here, you see a pet cemetery. Now, this is still a touchy subject for a lot of people, but Walt Disney World used to have the ride Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They took it out and replaced it with Winnie the Pooh. Some people are still angry. But what did they do? They took a statue of Mr. Toad and put it at the top of the cemetery to pay homage to the now gone, deceased ride. You look all the way up. There's Mr. Toad. We're now in Frontierland. Back in the day, in the Wild Wild West, a lot of the cowboys couldn't read. They were illiterate, but they still needed supplies. What would they do? They would put antlers on the roof. You see those antlers on the roof right over there? If there's antlers on a roof, that allowed cowboys to know that was a place you could go in to trade, because they couldn't read the sign, Frontier Trading Post. They would look for antlers to know, hey, now I know where to go trade my goods at. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, one of my favorites. The entrance of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, if you look right on the sign, you're gonna see this little here. This is the brand. There's a B, a T, and an M, standing for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That is the brand of this little town. But what's important to look at is the lamps on the side. What are they hanging from? Broken wagon wheels. Let's go into Adventureland and look up. At the exit of Pirates Caribbean, there's a gift shop. Now this is Miles, my son, very favorite place to be in all of Walt Disney World. He loves the pirate store. He'd spend all his time here. It's fun to look at, there's cool things, but as you come right towards the exit, you're gonna see a treasure map on the wall. And If you look up, what do you see holding that treasure map on the wall? 3 swords. Did you know that this video was a fan suggestion? That's right, a fan suggested it. They saw the video of us looking down. They're like, hey, do you wonder where you're looking up all the time at Disney? I was like, why not? If you like this video, please go consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up button. It takes a lot of time to do this research and we really appreciate it. Also, if you have a request for some strange, funny, cool videos about Disney or other theme parks, put it down in the comments down below and we'll try to get to it at some point. We'll try to make the videos that you guys want to see. My name is Chris, this is Provost Park Pass. Go ahead and subscribe. Oh, by the way, our patrons get another video every Sunday night for $3. $3 a month. Every Sunday night we answer all our questions. And our YouTube membership, those guys, they get an extra 5 to 8 videos a month. What? Just for them. Consider subscribing that way if you want to support Provost Park Pass. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you later.